The story begins with the fact that dragon raids are common in the Kingdom of Riddle, especially in Count Kerbek's territory. Right now, a fierce battle is raging against the creatures, and the soldiers are being overwhelmed. Suddenly, the Black Dragon, known for destroying multiple towns, arrives at the battlefield. But far away, a hooded figure is also making their way toward the fight. 3 months later, Monica, who wears the same hood, gets a visit. A little girl from her village brings her food so she doesn't have to leave her house. The excited child starts talking about the Black Dragon raid. Just when things seemed hopeless, the Silent Witch, one of the 7 sages, the strongest mages in the kingdom, appeared to help. She was so powerful that she drove away every dragon by herself. From Monica's clothing and her reaction, it's clear that the girl is talking about her. Then an unexpected visitor arrives, Louise Miller, another member of the 7 sages. He wants Monica to help him with a mission because she can cast magic without chanting spells. Monica has always been so shy that she could faint when talking to people. Instead of overcoming her shyness, she found a way to perform magic without speaking at all. Louis has been acting as the bodyguard to the second prince, Felix, at the request of the first prince. But it's difficult for him to infiltrate the prince's academy. He even gave Felix a protective magic artifact that could spy on him and warn him of danger. Louis worked on it for days, but it broke the very next day. When Louis asked Felix about it, the prince only said it broke by accident. So, Louis wants Monica to go undercover at the academy in his place, believing she's better suited for the job. She tries to refuse, but he pushes so hard that she ends up agreeing almost instantly. Louis explains her cover story, a girl adopted by a countess whose death left her alone. The countess's daughter hated her, treated her like a servant, and bullied her constantly. One day, the daughter enrolled in an academy, and the poor servant had to join her to care for her every need. Much to Monica's dismay, this is the role she'll have to play. Monica's cat and familiar Nero tells her to run away while she still can. But Monica knows that if she escapes, Louis will hunt her down no matter where she hides. She has no choice. The next day, she nervously sings a nursery rhyme to calm herself while flying to Louis' home. There, Rosalie Miller, Louis's wife, notices that Monica isn't feeling well and takes her aside to care for her. She has no idea that what Monica truly wants is a way out of this mission. Isabel Norton, Count Kerbek's daughter, will play the evil stepsister in the mission. To prove her dedication, she bullies Monica dramatically and viciously. But in reality, Isabel is a huge fan of hers and wants the mission to succeed no matter what. When the Black Dragon attacked the city, Isabel thought she was going to die, with no hope of escaping. But the Silent Witch easily drove it away. And when smaller dragons tried to attack in revenge, the witch stopped them all, preventing any casualty. Monica is the first person in the world to use magic without chanting, so her abilities are on another level. She can summon dozens of magic circles at once and kill all dragons with a single strike. After seeing this, Isabel became her fan. Unfortunately, Monica doesn't feel proud or happy when Isabel declares that she'll bully her as much as possible to make the mission a success. We see Monica remembering when her father gave her a measuring tape as a child. Even though it wasn't a toy, she played with it a lot, making it very special to her. It holds a deeper meaning because her father often told her that the human body is made up of enormous numbers. Meanwhile, at the academy, the student council is scolding a student for stealing from them. The council includes Secretary Bridget Graham, Vice President Cyril Ashley, and another secretary named Elliot. The most important member and the current student council president is Prince Felix. The accused student, Aaron O'Brien, is certain that someone can help him out of this trouble, but he panics when he realizes he can't even remember what that person looks like. Left with no other option, he suddenly tries to attack Felix, which leads to his immediate expulsion. Later, Isabel gives Monica a rundown of the student council members. Then Monica heads to her classroom. She can't bring herself to introduce herself, worried she'll face the same rejection she experienced before. Because of her silence, no one approaches her, except Lana Colette, a wealthy girl who goes out of her way to break through Monica's shyness and even helps her fix her hair. During lunch, Monica looks for a quiet place to eat alone. She finds a beautiful garden, but someone is already there, Felix, though she doesn't know it's in yet. As she turns to leave, Elliot suddenly grabs her. He suspects she's connected to Aaron's family and is here to harm the prince, but Monica has simply wandered into the wrong place at the wrong time. Flustered, she trips and drops her lunch, which turns out to be a handful of nuts. Felix tells Elliot to let her go, believing she's innocent. Just then, someone throws a vase down from above, and Felix quickly shields Monica from it. But what actually knocks her out is the shock of seeing him so close. While unconscious, she has a nightmare. She remembers a man yelling at her and blaming her father for something. When she wakes, she quietly returns to her dorm. There, her familiar Nero takes on a human form and tries to help her rehearse saying thank you to Felix. But even though Nero isn't truly human, she still can't bring herself to say it. He stops teasing her when he notices someone suspicious nearby. Even with a hood covering him, Monica recognizes that it's Felix. The next day, Monica decides to push herself and thanks Lana for doing her hair. She had tried styling it herself, but it turned into a messy disaster. She asks Lana for help again, and they officially become friends, her first real accomplishment in the new school. Soon after, Elliot shows up at her classroom and takes her to Felix. Monica gathers her courage to thank him as well and asks why he went out the night before. He tries to deny it was him, but she points out that the person had the same build as him. She even blurts out, in an uncharacteristically talkative way, details about his body type and how the measurements prove it couldn't have been anyone else. Felix finally admits it was him and becomes certain she isn't an assassin. Ever since Aaron was locked in his room after his attack, strange incidents have been happening around the student council president. Since Aaron hinted that he had a partner, the council suspects someone is trying to harm Felix. Elliot then pressures Monica into helping them find the real culprit. She can't bring herself to refuse, which means she now has a new mission, on top of her role as the prince's secret bodyguard. Monica investigates the spot where the flower pot was dropped, but instead stumbles upon a commotion. A group of girls from her class is harassing Selma, Aaron's fiancée. In the process, they are also blocking the stairs Monica needs to use. Lana quickly notices and goes up with her, making sure the girls move aside, but she doesn't miss the chance to badmouth them while passing. One of the girls, Caroline, gets angry at this and shoves Lana. Although Lana doesn't fall, Monica, standing right behind her, trips and falls down the stairs. Well, more like slides down. As she begins to fall, Monica thinks in slow motion about the safest way to land without embarrassing herself. Still, she slides too fast, tumbles, and crashes straight into the student council's vice president. Thankfully, he reacts kindly and shows concern for her safety. Caroline, however, uses the moment to blame Lana for everything. Knowing how a single accusation from an aristocrat can ruin someone's reputation, Monica freezes. A flash of a public execution she once witnessed as a child crosses her mind, perhaps something tied to her father's past. Gathering her courage, she takes the blame herself, claiming she tripped. Afterward, she examines the room from which the pot was dropped onto her and Felix. She gathers several clues. The culprit would have needed to reserve the room, and they would have required another pot to stand on to get the right angle. Monica goes to Felix and tells him she believes Selma is the culprit. Although Selma tries to deny it, Monica has strong evidence. She discovered that Selma booked the room at the exact time of the incident and also found Selma's dirty gloves in a trash can. With no way to defend herself, Selma panics and begs them not to take Aaron away from her. Normally, such a crime, trying to harm a noble, will lead to her entire family's execution. But Felix decides the best punishment is to expel her from the academy. Relieved, Monica begins reviewing the academy's accounting reports and quickly notices major errors. Impressed, Felix appoints her as the new student council treasurer. In just a few hours, she reviews all financial records from the past 5 years, leaving Felix and the rest of the council amazed. But when she's allowed to speak honestly, she bluntly tells them they have been sloppy with their work. This angers Cyril, the vice president. That night, he checks her notes and confirms she's right, but he also notices something odd about her handwriting. As he leaves the room, he feels a sudden headache and his eyes flash red. The next day, Felix asks Cyril to help Monica understand her duties since he once held the treasurer position. Though Monica is nervous, she's forced to accept his help. To her surprise, Cyril does everything he can to guide her and even praises her talent. He scolds her not for making mistakes, but for refusing to take pride in her exceptional abilities. He even reveals that he questioned witnesses about the stair incident the day before and punished Caroline. Monica feels happy but insists she can't be proud of herself, remembering a hurtful words a boy had once said to her. Soon after, she and Cyril start bickering. He wants her to speak louder, but she simply can't. That night, Cyril heads to deliver documents to Professor Thornless, but something about it feels wrong, making him pause briefly. A moment later, however, he continues walking straight ahead as if nothing happened. Rinspelfied, the wind spirit who works for Luis, arrives in Monica's room to deliver a message. The first thing he says is that Luis is going to have a child, a detail Monica finds completely unimportant. But while the spirit is explaining how she should send her notes, she senses a strange disturbance in mana. They rush into the forest and find Cyril, who has lost control of his mana and is trapped inside a massive block of ice. Monica notices he's wearing an amulet meant to prevent this, but it's malfunctioning. She quickly prepares to intervene. Cyril tries to fight back, but his ice magic is no match for her powerful fire. In seconds, she melts all the ice and repairs his amulet. The amulet is precious to Cyril because it was a gift from his adoptive father. After his father's death, the man took him in and gave him a new family. But Cyril's biological family still refuses to acknowledge him. His mother only sees the face of his cruel father when she... Because of that, Cyril works tirelessly to prove his worth to her. While Cyril sleeps and recovers, Monica goes after the real culprit. She catches Professor Thornley red-handed as he's about to alter the student council's document. Realizing he can't explain his actions, he tries to manipulate her mind. But he quickly learns she's far beyond his level. Her magic completely destroys his spell, and she casts her own mind magic on him instead. The next day, the entire school is buzzing with news that Louise has arrested Professor Thornley. Wildianu, a water spirit, informs Felix about Cyril's condition and what happened, but leaves out Monica's involvement. Even so, Felix is suspicious of her. He tells Wildianu she's probably some sort of spy, protector, or assassin, since none of his tricks work on her. Later, Cyril finds Monica asleep in the student council room. He quietly lets her rest, even removing the pen from her hand. He can't help but notice how similar her small hand looks to the one that saved him. Before he can think more about it, Felix shows up and playfully messes with her, laughing at her half-asleep state. Cyril, however, just gets annoyed. Meanwhile, Louis talks to Rin about Monica. Even though he considers himself a genius, he admits she's a monster in terms of ability. That's partly why he picked her for this mission. He enjoys bullying the strong. He's also looking forward to doing the same with Felix. Later, the student council is surprised when Cyril openly accepts Monica as one of them, offering to help her. Her next task is to greet all the school's club members, something she clearly dreads. Monica and Nero watch as an earth dragon wreaks havoc in the city. Suddenly, a boy rushes in to fight it, but his fire spells aren't strong enough to take it down. The witch quickly prepares a spell of her own and fires it at the same time the boy attacks. This way, the dragon is defeated, and no one realizes it was her doing. Nero notices how resilient humans are as the townsfolk return to their daily routines almost immediately. He also realizes Monica is even tougher since she speaks to him in his human form without hesitation. The next day, Monica faces a different challenge, choosing her elective classes. Unsure of what to pick, she listens as Felix offers to show her the magecraft lessons, and she accidentally agrees. On the way, they run into Neil, another student council member, and Glenn, the boy who fought the dragon. When they arrive at the class, Monica discovers the professor is William Macragan, the same teacher from her previous school who once saw her use enchanted magic. Luckily, his eyesight is so poor that he doesn't recognize her. But her troubles aren't over. The professor wants to test everyone's mana, which could reveal that she is one of the 7 sages. As Monica tries to slip away, he catches a glimpse of her and wonders if they've met before. Before he can approach her, Glenn distracts him by surpassing a mana level of 250 and shattering the testing device. This surprises Monica, as only 2 members of the 7 sages possess such raw power. Still, escaping is her priority. She doesn't stop running until she stumbles into the chess classroom. Although she's never played before, Elliot offers to teach her. Despite being a beginner, Monica draws attention when she confidently says chess is far simpler than war strategy, so it should be easy. As they play, Elliot realizes how skilled she is. He only wins because she uses a move called castling, which he hadn't explained. Elliot regrets not teaching her, but he's relieved he didn't lose in front of the crowd. The next day, Monica helps Elliot by drawing a merchant group's crest after seeing Cyril's terrible attempt. Elliot then asks her to join him when he meets the merchants. In truth, he also wants to speak to her privately and apologize for his behavior during their chess match. However, Monica interrupts him before he can say anything. She notices the crest the merchants are using is wrong. This means they are actually bandits. Elliot charges ahead to stop them, giving Monica time to flee, but she is more capable than he realizes. She casts a spell to frighten their horses, causing one to go wild and kick both criminals. Unfortunately, she can't calm the horse and freezes in place. Just then, another girl steps in and soothes the animal. She introduces herself as Casey Grove, a second-year student. Coming from the countryside, she knows a great deal about horse riding. Still, despite being a noble, she feels out of place among the other students. Excited to meet Monica, Casey invites her to join the horse riding classes. She even lifts Monica into a wagon to show her the view from inside. The sight is so magical that Monica immediately agrees, deciding to take both horse riding and chess as her electives. Felix wonders if Glenn is really the one who slew the Earth Dragon. His mind fills with doubts about assassins and hidden threats, but his worries fade when he sees Glenn, Monica, and other students enjoying a school barbecue. Smiling, he decides to forget his fears and join them. That night, Monica receives a beautiful dress from Louis as thanks for helping capture teacher Thornley. Before Rinsbelfid can leave, she asks him to wait so she can write Louis a thank you note. During their chat, she learns that Louis set up a powerful barrier around the school to block outside enemies, though it can't protect against threats that come from within. The next day, Monica notices Claudia secretly following her. Nervous, she runs and accidentally bumps into Caroline Simmons, who suspiciously invites her to a tea party. With no way out, Monica accepts. Caroline and her friends act polite but strangely distant. Caroline asks Monica to tell Cyril that nothing happened between them, but Monica refuses, unwilling to stain Cyril's honor. Offended, they pressure her to drink the tea. Though it tastes bitter, Monica drinks it all without complaint, shocking them. Moments later, her vision turns red and she collapses. As she lies unconscious, Monica relives her painful childhood, watching townspeople burn her father's books and call him a sinner, then being forced to live with her cruel uncle. The memories overwhelm her until she cries out in agony, begging for forgiveness as horrified students watch. Claudia arrives and immediately realizes Caroline spiked the tea. She hadn't expected Monica to drink every drop and react so severely. Using her quick thinking, Claudia forces Monica to vomit and rushes her to the infirmary. Later, Monica wakes to find Cyril and Felix caring for her. Overcome with guilt, she cries, saying she always messes things up and couldn't even handle a tea party. But the boys reassure her and tell her to rest. Claudia then arrives, teasing her brother Cyril for being so protective of Monica while trying to hide it. To make Monica feel safer, Cyril and Felix leave her in Claudia's care. Gathering her courage, Monica asks why Claudia has been following her. To her surprise, Claudia admits it's not hatred, she's simply protective because Monica has gotten close to her fiancé. Before Monica can ask who that is, Glenn and Neil walk in. Claudia's cold demeanor instantly softens, and she cheerfully claims to be Monica's friend. The reason becomes clear: Neil is her fiancé. As she teases him, the room grows lively and chaotic, especially when Casey bursts in, turning Monica's rest into anything but peaceful. Meanwhile, Felix confronts Caroline and her group. He recalls Monica's tearful face and sees his younger self reflected in her pain. Caroline assumes he won't punish her, but Felix corners her with sharp questions until she has no escape. At that tense moment, Isabel Norton steps in. Caroline thinks Isabel will defend her since she's known to dislike Monica. Relieved, she relaxes when Isabel offers tea as an apology, but then Isabel mischievously pulls out a flask like Caroline's poison vial and adds it to the cups, calling it a beauty remedy. Caroline panics, spits out the tea, and makes a scene, screaming it's poison. But Isabel calmly takes a sip herself, proving it harmless. It was only a cruel prank meant to frighten Caroline. Yet Isabel isn't done. She reminds Caroline that the Nortons' family ties are strong. If their relationship is damaged, no soldiers will defend Caroline's hometown when dragons attack. Cornered and shaken, Caroline has no choice but to admit the danger of crossing a Norton. To comfort Monica afterward, Isabel places another bed in her own room and allows Monica to stay there for a week, making sure she feels safe again. But that's it for this part. Let me know if you want the next part of this anime.